Hello, and welcome back to yet another episode of When She Gonna Cook For You, Here's What You Do. I said welcome back. I know I always say that, but you're on this journey with us, so welcome back. We're welcoming you back. Listen, today we're in Philly. I'm getting all this Philly brotherly love. Today we have on the show Chef Z. Chef Z, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show. Listen, I'm so excited. You know, Chef Z, she's awesome. She's doing a lot of amazing things, and she cooks incredible. And she's done a lot of TV as well. So she's just, being in front of the camera is, it's second nature to her. What are you gonna cook for us today?
We're doing lobster mac and cheese today, or my version of lobster mac and cheese.
Now let me tell you the story behind this. Well, I'm so excited. I'm about to do the shimmy. Let me tell you the story behind this. I posted, we all follow each other on social media, and I posted, I want to learn how to make lobster mac and cheese. And Chef Z was like, you know what, I'll do you one better. I'll make it for this episode. So I'm super excited, and I'm ready to go, and she's ready to go, and we're very happy. You're also going to tell us about some of the stuff you've been doing as far as like TV, what you've done, and some of your favorite meals. So I want you to just talk to us. Let the camera know what's going on with Chef Z. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of dope stuff going on. I've been on your social media, and it's all positive, and it's just all good. So listen, that being said, when She Cooks For You, Chef Z is going to show us what to do here in Philly, city of brotherly love. People, we'll be right back.
Welcome back. Are you ready to learn how to make lobster mac and cheese? All right, so first we're going to start the noodles, okay? In my pot of boiling water, I always add vegetable stock and salt. So, or veggie base and salt. My favorite is Miner's because it has great flavor, but you can use whichever one you want to use. And we just want to add just a spoonful of the vegetable stock. I always cook any of my carbs, whether it's elbow noodles or rice, and some type of base, whether it's veggie base or chicken base, just to give it a little extra flavor, because I like layers of flavor. If I'm eating out or if I'm just eating, period, whether it's my food or anyone else's food, I want to taste it. I want it to taste, and I want it to taste good. A little about me. I was born in West Philly, and when we were 4, my dad moved us up to Cheltenham. And when I was 9, my dad started teaching me how to cook. My dad taught me how to cook, told me that I would be married one day. And so I had to learn how to cook so that I can cook for my husband. Me, on the other hand, I was like, well, I like to eat, so I'm going to learn how to cook for myself. And that's where it all started. I would watch him cook, whether it was my day of training or just a day, period. I would watch him cook, and as we're cooking, I'm just getting hungry. When I was 12, I started cooking. I started serving at my grandfather's. Put this in here. Just put the whole thing at my grandfather's catering business. And my grandfather was a chef, and he was an amazing chef. And he taught me how to be creative. He told me, he said, Z, make the food yours. Make the food yours, cook the food and make it yours, because that's the only way that people are really going to enjoy it. So he was my muse. He was my inspiration. He's the one that pushed me to cook and do what I do. Unfortunately, he passed when I was 16, so he's not able to see all the things that I've done throughout the years because of him, because he inspired me. So, all right, now that the noodles are in the water, the noodles are going to cook for about 12 to 15 minutes. You want to make sure that they're al dente. You don't want them to cook too long until they're soggy, because they still have to go into the oven and cook with the sauce that we're going to make, okay? So before we...
Chef Z, let me ask you a question. Let's go back. What was you spoke about your grandfather. What was the one meal that that you reminisce to, like, go back and think, wow, granddad really made that, and he really threw down?
My pop made the best mac and cheese.
Really?
Well, in anything my pop touched was amazing.
Gotcha.
So I loved his food, but my pop's mac and cheese. Everyone loved his mac and cheese.
Okay.
Everyone loved his mac and cheese. And when he passed away, that was my brother's. That was part of my brother's speech about how he's going to miss my grandfather's mac and cheese. Yeah.
God bless.
After he passed away, I started making mac and cheese, but I wanted to make it like how he made it.
Gotcha.
And it never turned out how he made it because I'm not him. But oh my gosh, his mac and cheese was delicious. Okay. But throughout the years, I did my best to try to make mac and cheese just as good as his.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
So this is definitely a special episode. Okay.
Yeah. In my lobster mac and cheese, I like to use sharp cheddar cheese, but I also use smoked cheeses. I think the smoked cheeses bring out the seafood a lot more, and it just tastes a whole lot better. So in here, in this bowl already, I have some sharp cheddar cheese. I have some Monterey Jack cheese, but we're going to shred some smoked Gruyere in here. We're going to shred up some smoked cheddar cheese and some smoked Gouda. And we're going to mix all that up together because we need it to taste good. I like my food to taste amazing. So if you don't have this right here, if you don't have one of these graters, you can use a chopper. It doesn't really matter. This is just what I have. And depending on how much mac and cheese you are making, depends on how much cheese you want to use, or how cheesy you want it to be, or how smoky you want it to be. You don't have to use smoked cheese. Like I said, this is how I do mine. So I like the smoked Gruyere better than anything, so I'm going to have more smoked Gruyere in mine. So this right here is about a cup of smoked Gruyere cheese. Okay. So this right here, you want to do like a cup of smoked Gruyere. You don't have to do any more than that unless you really like the flavor. Now we're going to go in with the smoked cheddar. You don't need as much smoked cheddar because we already have sharp cheddar cheese in there and regular cheddar cheese. The smoked cheddar, again, is just to give it that nice smoky flavor.
And these cheeses can be at the local,
at your local market. Like I got these cheeses at Giant.
Okay. And in New York, our version of Giant is Stop and Shop. And I did see some smoked cheeses in there. So so this we can just go there and get those.
Yes, you can get them.
And I'm taking notes because I plan on cooking this like in 5 days. Like this segment, I'm really focused on. So,
yes.
Yeah. So I'm really with the smoked cheese. Everything you're doing, yeah. Because I want to try this. But one of my favorite meals. Everybody has that meal that people request, and mine is my lobster crab balls.
Really?
Yeah. Listen, people. It brings tears to people's eyes.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to try it then.
Yes.
You should have brought some down.
I know, but see, this
Next
is the
time.
thing. But this is where you come into play because I want the lobster mac and cheese to be my next go-to for people. So that's why I'm really focused on this more than ever because I'm trying this in the next few days.
I think you'll like it. I think you'll really love it.
Yeah.
And make sure, and you're gonna have to take some with you too.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Oh my God, please.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take some with you.
I appreciate that.
Because my family not well. My brother will.
Okay.
My brother will. He loves lobster mac and cheese. If he finds out that I'm making this and I don't save some for him, he's gonna be like, for real, Z?
Yeah.
You're not gonna save none?
And y'all in Philly, so we don't want no problems. So please let him get in, please.
I definitely will. So we have our smoked Gouda. Oops, drop some of this. All right. We have our smoked Gouda, our cheddar cheese, our smoked Gruyere, and our smoked cheddar cheese all in here. And we're just going to mix it up because we're going to make our seafood sauce, okay? All this stuff is going to be made while these noodles are cooking. Now remember to stir your noodles. We want to make sure that they don't stick together because when they don't stick together, they actually cook faster. If you don't stir it up, then it can slow down the cooking process. All right. So now in this pot, next to the noodles, there we go. We're gonna make our lobster sauce in here, our cheese sauce in here. Okay. All right, now welcome back. In this part of the show, I'm going to show you how to make the lobster cheese sauce. Okay. So in a pot, you want to get about a quarter cup, which is 4 tablespoons of butter. Because you're going to add more butter most likely to your mac and cheese. And that's a little more than. So we're going to get that butter and we're going to let that butter melt down. As that butter is melting down, make sure you have all your stuff, okay? I have chopped garlic, my Saison, Casafrans. I know I'm saying it wrong. Some lobster base. We want to use lobster base because this is what the lobster cheese sauce is. If you don't have lobster base, then it can still be a lobster cheese sauce, but this to me is what makes it the lobster cheese sauce.
I'm definitely getting the lobster base.
Yes.
I want this turning out the way it needs to turn out.
Some Old Bay seasoning, some Cajun seasoning, some Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning, and some garlic powder, and maybe some vegetable seasoning in there. Or else you can season however you want to. Like I said, this is what I'm doing. If you're looking for measurements for it, then I want to say let your ancestors guide you.
Okay.
However, we want to do, for this much, you can do about 2 tablespoons of the Old Bay seasoning, about a tablespoon of Smack Your Mama, a teaspoon and a half maybe of the garlic powder, 1 pouch of the Saison, and maybe a teaspoon of the vegetable seasoning, and that's it. All right. Now that the butter is melted, I'm going to give about 2 spoons. So that's probably about 2 tablespoons of chopped garlic. All right. You want to melt that in there. You want to spread it out. Turn your fire down because you don't want to burn the garlic. If you burn the garlic, it's going to have a different flavor. The flavor will be a little bit bitter. Okay. Now we're going to add our seasonings. You're going to add your seasonings now because what we're doing is we're reactivating these dried herbs. We want those seasonings to come out in this lobster mac and cheese. So we're going to cook them. We're going to put them on the stove and cook them. And it smells amazing. Only if we had smell-o-vision. Man,
yes.
One day we're going to have smell-o-vision and it is going to...
It's going to change the game.
What? 1 pack of Saison.
Okay.
The Saison season also adds that extra orangey color to it. So... Okay, we're going to move this out the way. And now I'm going to add my lobster base. You only want to add, you don't need a whole lot of lobster base. I would say about a tablespoon. Because remember, this is concentrated. This is definitely concentrated. So you don't need to add a whole lot of it. A little bit will take you a long way. Okay. Now that those herbs, I know I didn't put the veggie seasoning in there yet. I'm going to put that in there in a second. Now that those herbs and everything has cooked down, let's open up this heavy cream because we're about to make this cheese sauce. As soon as I get this open. There we go. And we'll add about 3 cups of heavy cream here. You can use all the heavy cream if you like. Matter of fact, we're going to use all the heavy cream because we're going to make it nice and creamy and good. Yeah. So you have 1 quart of heavy cream in there. It also looks like our noodles are done. If you're not sure, just take one and have a bite, but they look like they're done. So I'm just going to strain these out. Do not rinse your noodles off. Keep the starches on your noodles. It helps for the cream and everything else to bind to your noodles. So you don't want to rinse it off. All you want to do is strain it. And that's it. And once the cheese sauce is done, we're actually going to add the noodles back to this pot. We're actually going to add the noodles back to the pot to make sure everything is stirred up and incorporated properly. All right.
something smelling really good.
Yes.
What is that?
You're smelling the sauce and the herbs. You're smelling all the herbs and the garlic that I put in there first before I added the heavy cream. So that's what you're smelling. That's the goodness that you're smelling.
I think you're about to put in the goodness stuff with the
Yes,
cheese.
I am.
Jeez.
Yes, we're about to put this cheese in for sure. Because this is a cheese sauce.
Yes.
And this cheese sauce is it's so delectable and delicious because of all the smoked cheeses that I put in there. It's going to turn out amazing. You don't have to put all the cheese in there right now. What you want to do is put about half the cheese that you're going to use in the sauce. And then once we incorporate everything, then we'll add more cheese to it. But I was married before, and my ex-husband loved mac and cheese. And so he became my muse to start making different types of mac and cheeses and just trying new things with mac and cheese. Not just mac and cheese and lasagna. And so doing mac and cheese or making mac and cheese has been it's one of my favorite dishes to make. It's one of my favorite comfort foods to make. A lot of people like it. There's so many different things that you can do with it. We did a Friendsgiving at one of my friend's house years ago, and I was like, all right, I'm bringing mac and cheese. It was just going to be a regular mac and cheese, nothing special. Until other friends said, well, I'm going to bring mac and cheese with bacon in it. And another friend said, well, I'm going to make mac and cheese. I'm going to make Alfredo mac and cheese. And I said, oh, so it's a competition. And they didn't know that I thought this. This is just what's going on in my head. So I said, you know what? I have to create a new type of mac and cheese. So I did a Blue Moon mac and cheese. I was working on the syrup. I just created this syrup. I call it my brandy maple syrup. And it pairs with the Blue Moon mac and cheese. It's like having mac and cheese with candy yams. So it's you make a beer cheese sauce basically. And the only beer I had on me at the time was Blue Moon beer. So I made a beer cheese with that Blue Moon beer, and then the syrup. And when I brought it to my friend's house, I think everyone ate the other mac and cheeses. I know my mac and cheese was all gone, and I know one of my friends wanted to take the syrup with them.
Wow.
So
so the job done.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question because I'm trying to get creative. Give me your honest opinion. I'm gonna do the lobster mac and cheese, but should I throw some crab meat in there or not really? Talk to me. Because if you say more, you're doing too much with that.
You're not.
Okay.
You're not doing too much with that. Okay. Because in this bowl, we have our lobster meat, as you see. We have our lobster meat, but what I also have in this bowl is crawfish. Oh. So we have our crawfish, we have our lobster meat. I have some I have this
That's
whenever
a lot
I make
of
my
lobster meat and cheese.
Listen. Because lobster mac and cheese, I can't stand when people make lobster mac and cheese and the only lobster you get is on top of the mac and cheese.
Yeah. Now, my thing was this. I never made it, but I told myself I want to have enough in there that people get a little bit of lobster in every bite. Mm-hmm. Or every second bite. Mm-hmm. So, I know, somebody said use 2 lobsters. I might want to use 3.
Well, if you... we have down here, we have the Restaurant Depot down here, right? And at the Restaurant Depot, they have this bag called Lobster Sensation, where they have North American lobster meat and then some fish in there, white fish in there. I use that, and then I also get a bag, and that's only $20 for the bag. Okay. Because when you're using whole lobster, one lobster can be very expensive. You know, even the bag of lobster that I got for this right here was $26. But you could get about a pound of lobster, fresh lobster at a good price. But for the extra stuff, it's you can use like I said, the Lobster Sensation, because now you have these pieces of lobster right here, you know, these shredded pieces of lobster. You have some of these white chunks, but you have these smaller pieces.
Gotcha.
And then when you add
to do it that way.
Yes,
okay.
And then when you add the crawfish, these bags of crawfish are only $7 if we rounded them up. So basically, if you're doing a pan of lobster meat and you're adding those ingredients, you're looking at 27 plus $26. You're looking at what, $53? Okay. Right? You're looking at $53 for your lobster meat. It's better than spending. I was at Whole Foods and a lobster tail, lobster tail this big was $39.
Yeah.
$39. Listen,
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want to do. I'm doing what's cost effective, but also what's going to give people the best bang for their buck, especially if I'm selling this.
Okay. Well, I want to
at that.
follow you. You gave me the green light to use crab, so I'm gonna do that.
Use crab.
Yeah.
Use
Well,
crab.
I'm
Now the
using
crab,
a lot- no,
now the
hold on.
crab is going to give it a different taste. Though.
It is.
The
So I
crab is
can't
definitely
really
gonna
mix.
give it-
I can't really mix them. Then I want to kind of maybe keep it all lobster. Right?
Now I'm adding all the crab meat. I mean the lobster meat, the crawfish tail meat. We're going to add all that to this cheese sauce. Matter of fact, I might take my big pot out to mix everything up in. And all this lobster meat is going to actually go in that pot.
Okay.
So I'm going to take out my Dutch oven because we're about to mix everything up together. I'm not going to use that.
Okay.
Hey guys, we are back and we're about to incorporate the elbow noodles with the lobster cheese sauce. Remember, we did not rinse these off. They're still hot because my hand is burning.
So no heading these with cold water.
No.
Okay. Gotcha.
No. You want all the starches to still be on your noodles.
Gotcha.
Okay. That's going to help to bind the sauce to your noodles. When I cook my mac and cheese is the color of the sauce.
Got you. Okay.
I can tell. I'm not a picky eater with some things. With mac and cheese, I kind of am. Okay, my throat won't swallow nasty mac and cheese.
Got you.
And I've had mac and cheese to where the noodles look like this, and it's supposed to still be done. That's not how it's supposed to look to me.
Have you had to hurt people's feelings like, nah, I can't eat that, or you just kind of rough
I don't. No, I just tell them I'm saving it for later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta use that one.
Yeah. If they say, I'm sorry. If they say, oh, are you full? You don't want any? I'm like, no, I'm saving it for later. I'm full. I'm full.
You just got here. How you gonna be full?
Yeah, like I ate before I got here. I'm so
hear that.
sorry. I'm so sorry. So now we're mixing all this together.
Okay.
And this is what I mean, like, your noodles should not be whatever color it came out of in the pot. Everything should be well incorporated. And all these chunks of lobster and crawfish meat.
Now, you let me try a little bit between the break, and that tasted incredible.
I'm happy you liked it.
No, I'm not playing around. Like, that's serious. And it was, I tasted that smoked cheese and a little bit of everything you put in there.
That smoked cheese, like I said, the smoked cheese helps bring everything out.
That's like a difference maker.
Mm-hmm.
It's like either turning right or turning in the right direction when you're in the car. I gotta copy that. Well, you know what's
That's
up.
fine.
I'm coming here to copy
Yeah,
your
no,
style.
that's good. I want you to. We're gonna add some more lobster meat in here because, like we said, this is lobster mac and cheese. This is not just regular mac and cheese. So we're gonna add some more because I want you to have a bite of lobster in every single bite. I want you to have a piece of lobster meat or in every bite that you have.
Got you.
And then we're gonna add some more cheese because we want it to be cheesy. It's lobster mac and cheese. Key words. So, a little bit more about me. In 2014, I was casted on Hell's Kitchen.
Okay, yeah,
That was fun. It was real. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. It was very fun.
No.
I learned a lot of stuff from it. Chef Ramsay, honestly, I wasn't even going to audition for Hell's Kitchen because I didn't want nobody yelling at me.
Okay.
And Chef Ramsay is good with yelling at people.
Was it an intimidating experience? Like when you first got on it, was it intimidating or
It was it was very intimidating.
Okay.
Not one because you're cooking in front of Chef Ramsay, but also because you're cooking amongst other chefs.
Yeah.
That have their own strengths and their own talents that they are bringing to the table, their own techniques that they're bringing to the table. So it's like, it's intense, because you're here to win. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about exotic ingredients. I learned a lot about just how things can work differently. You know, he taught me a lot. And he's very nice. A lot.
Really?
Like I said, he is. He's very nice. What you see on television is edited. You know, but he's a really nice guy. He's a really nice guy. So we just added some more. Now I'm going to add the vegetable seasoning.
Okay.
Now I'm going to add the vegetable seasoning, and just a little bit because I don't add salt really. The salt was already in the stock for the noodles. Other than that, I don't really like to add a lot of salt to my food.
Gotcha.
And that's it. And then there's enough salt in the seasonings. But this veggie seasoning, I'll tell you one thing. This veggie seasoning takes everything up a notch.
Okay.
And we stirring this up. But after leaving HK, I would go to the market. I was the sixth person that left.
Okay,
So I was there. You're there for 6 weeks. I was there 4 weeks out of 6 weeks.
Okay.
So I was the sixth person that left. After I left, I would go to the market every single week, and I would get an ingredient that I've never worked with, and I would try to create 2 to 3 recipes from that ingredient, whether it's a main dish, a side, a dessert, a jam, or whatever. I wanted to do. That's what I did, and I did that until 2016. I mean, I still work with other ingredients, but I was consistent with learning how to use these exotic ingredients, you know, how to use elephant ear mushrooms properly, how to cook them properly, how to cook shiitake mushrooms properly. And fun story about the shiitake mushrooms, in 2018, I won the People's Choice Award for my short rib lasagna. And one of the things I use in my short rib lasagna are shiitake mushrooms. When you rip them apart, you render them down in oil and olive oil and salt. They have a meaty texture to them. So I added that meaty texture to my short rib lasagna, and I won the People's Choice Award. That was the first award I won in Philly when I moved back to Philly. So that actually no. Well, yes and no. I did a cooking competition, but that was the first award I won. So I was very excited about that. I had a medal and everything.
Got you. Now you've done some local with like the local news or.
I do.
Okay.
Our local Fox station.
Yes.
I'm adding 2 eggs to this. So for every 1 box, you can add 1 egg or 2 eggs, depending on. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop in the middle of explaining. But for 1 box of noodles, you can have one egg or 2 eggs, depending on the creaminess, depending on how creamy you want it. If you want it creamy, don't add any eggs to it. But if you want it like your baked mac and cheese, add an egg. If you want it stiff, add 2 eggs. But yes, our local Fox station, I'm usually a guest chef on there. I'll guest chef a couple of times a year, a few times a year. And most times they're asking me to do either like this week or next week. They asked me to come on and do some Thanksgiving leftovers, or what you can create with the leftovers from what you have, with the leftovers that you have from Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So, but in July I went in because there was a trend, Gatorade hot dogs, and they was like, Chef, can you come in and talk to us about Gatorade hot dogs? So I did the Gatorade hot dogs, but I did it with beef hot dogs, turkey hot dogs, and chicken hot dogs because it's all going to have a different flavor. I mean, they're all nasty, but the beef ones taste a lot better than the turkey and the chicken ones.
Got you.
And then we also did one with sardines. So I'm on there. I'm on Fox often. I'm there. I'm a chef that's on there often. And but then I also do a couple other things. I have. In 2020, I founded and co-founded 2 nonprofits. The first one that I founded was People's Kitchen.
Okay.
That started at the beginning of the pandemic. My whole focus is always making sure people eat. So there were a lot of students, a lot of kids there are a lot of children that only eat in school. Like a lot of their meals come from school, and they don't eat when they get home. And I posted something, and one of my clients said, "Hey, chef, how can I help?" And I said, and I drew up a business plan about the cost and what we was going to do. And basically, the premise of the People's Kitchen is every day a different chef will come in, and
Gotcha.
that chef would make up to 100 meals for people that need it for free, and we would give them out. Whether it's a vegan chef, it didn't matter. Every day you were getting chef quality, sustainable meals. The People's Kitchen is still here. I'm not active in it anymore. They have other people running it. I was a part of the board for a while though. I was part of the board, so I didn't have to do all the work, which was great. But right now we have 5 lots in South Philly where we grow fruits and vegetables, and that helps to offset costs, but that also helps to we also give it back to the communities that we're in. And now they do 200 to 250 meals a day. So we're still serving the community. We're still making sure that everybody eats. The second nonprofit is called Everybody Eats Philly, or Everybody Eats Foundation. We just changed it. And that started after the murder of George Floyd, after the riots and everything happened. There were senior citizens and people that just could not get to the market to get their things. So Everybody Eats gives out food, but we also give you essentials like deodorant, dog food, soap, stuff like that as well. So, and that right there is still going. It was 5 of us chefs, and 2 of the chefs, they started a for-profit called Everybody Eats Philly Cafe, and that's in Chester, and it's going amazing. They just opened up they have the restaurant on one side, and then the other side, they just opened up an event space 2 months ago, almost 2 months ago. So they're doing really well. They're doing very well. So now everything is all incorporated. This tastes phenomenal because it just tastes amazing. And now we're going to put it inside of one of our pans. You really do not need to butter this pan. I might rinse it because, I don't know, I grew up, it didn't matter how clean your dishes were, you always still rinse them off. Yeah. So it's kind of a habit to still rinse them off. And we're just going to pour all that in there. Yeah, man. Nice and cheesy. And I'm telling you, and you don't have to cover it because the cheese is already melted. So all we're doing is making sure this cheese turns brown.
Gotcha.
And that's it. I think I put a lot in there. I might have to take some out.
Okay.
But that's all right. I might have to take some out. Let's see. Huh. I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be okay. Yeah. Cool. And then what I will do, though, these big pieces of lobster, we'll put them on top. Those nice big lobster claws. Matter of fact, you know what? I think I will take some off top because otherwise it's going to spill right over. And that can go into a smaller pan because I have enough of them. There we go. There we go. When I was younger, I used to, when I would cook, I used to talk like Julia Child. Because back in the day, they didn't have cooking shows.
Gotcha,
the first one was Julia Child, and then after that was Emerald. So when Julia Child was doing her shows, I would watch it. And when I start cooking, I would say, "No, we're going to put the lobster back here." And I would imitate how she spoke. Yeah. Because I was like, one day I'm going to have my own cooking show. Yeah. And I'm not going to talk like this, but I was an actress. I did theater for a long time. I did theater for 15 years. So doing that was part of it. Wow. So, and then when Emerald came out, I did bam all the time. Everything was bam. Yeah. So now we're going to put this in the oven, and we're just going to bake it until it's brown. So it might bake between 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how crispy and crunchy you like your mac and cheese to be. And with the magic of television, we already have one done. But we're still going to bake this one off because, and I like mine a little brown. Gotcha. So, now one thing that I will add to this is a nice little lobster tail. for presentation purposes.
Okay. This looks phenomenal.
Yes, it does?
Yeah.
Good. I'm happy it does. We're gonna have to dig in there and you're gonna have to try it.
Yeah. You ain't gotta tell me twice. Jeez. Like I said, this is December 24th. I'm like a kid waiting for Christmas with this.
So.
But that's really beautiful. A lot of things you're doing for and with the community. You know, I did my homework. I did my homework and I went on your social and you're involved in a lot of positive things.
Yes.
And you look like you love what you do.
I do.
I noticed everything's with a smile.
Yeah.
Everything with you is with a smile. I'm gonna have your social media, your IG and all your stuff on the bottom of the screen. But I want people to see what you're doing.
I when people ask what do you do, I literally say everything I love doing. Everything I love doing. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Because life is. My dad told me before. He said either you're gonna get to live or you're gonna get to dying. Mm-hmm. And when he told me that, I was in my 30s, and I was like, you know what? He's absolutely right. Yeah. Because what's the worst that can happen if you don't die? Yeah. And then even if I have my PhD in metaphysical science, so I personally believe in reincarnation. Yeah. So even if you do die, you are right. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So so returning back to self, returning back to spirit is already, everything works in divine order. So until that happens to me, I'm going to keep living until it's time for me to go back.
I hear that.
So I'm just going to break open this lobster tail. I've had the oil in the back there heating up while we were cooking so that it could be nice and hot. So we're going to cut the lobster tail on top. And then we're just going to take this out. It'll be like this.
Nice.
Okay? It'll be just like this. I'm going to move my handy dandy kitchen shears. Now usually, however you dredge your lobster tail is fine. You can do egg wash first, or you could do flour, then egg wash, then dredge if you like. I'm just going to do dredge. Okay. I'm just going to do some dredge. And in my dredge, we'll move this to the side a little bit. In my dredge, I'm just going to add some Old Bay. Basically the same seasonings that I put in the lobster mac and cheese, okay? Because you kind of want it to have a similar taste. When you have a similar taste to it, it makes it a little bit more memorable. Okay. But you want to coat it with you want to use the same exact seasonings that you used in there. All the way down to the veggie seasoning. Maybe no Sazon though.
Okay, I got you. Well, I'm from Spanish Harlem, so we use that all the time.
That's so good.
We even put that in our cereal. So
it is so good.
Not in the cereal, but no, we use it. It's just part of
it's part of your culture. When I was I think I was 19, and I was staying with one of my girlfriend's parents. Okay. I had moved into her house and renting a room. I was renting a room from her mom's mom, and I was cooking collard greens one year, and I just could not get the flavor that I wanted. I could not get the flavor down. I'm using Lawry seasoning and all the other stuff, but the flavor was just not hitting. And her mom told me, she said, no. The first one was her mom said, whatever your water tastes like, that's what your greens are going to taste like. And I remembered that. So every time whenever I would cook a vegetable or anything, I would taste my water to make sure it tastes good. That makes
sense. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then years later, my ex-husband's cousin told me, she introduced me to Sazon. And first of all, how do you say it? How do you pronounce it?
I kind of pronounce the way you say it.
Sazon?
Yeah.
Okay. Because some people pronounce it differently, and I just want to make sure I'm, respecting what it's saying.
No, I hear you.
All right, so the oil's ready. I'm going to fry it down first so that it stays laying.
Got you. The magic of the sizzle. Wow.
All right, and we're back, and now I'm about to pull that mac and cheese out of the oven. We're going to see what it looks like, all right? Yes. We're going to take this, oh shoot. We're going to take this lobster tail. Just going to add some garlic butter. Matter of fact, we're going to spread some of this garlic butter over top of this mac and cheese as well. Put this here. So this way we get some fresh herbs on there, get some color on there besides the toasted color. We get some green on there too. There we go. And then the lobster tail that we quickly fried, we're going to put that on top for garnish. If you want, you could get smaller lobster tails. Depending on what city you're in, you can go to Samuel's and Sons. Sometimes they have a sale where you could get 1 ounce lobster tails for $1. And you could get up to 50 of them. So, let's add that. And then let's put this fried lobster tail on top. And we have our lobster mac and cheese.
Okay, guys, listen, we're back. Chef Z had this place smoking, especially with that smoked cheese. That. I want to kind of say like that's our secret because I'm gonna put that in my back pocket. But seriously, that was amazing, and this is the best part of the show for me because I'm greedy like that. Chef Z, let me have it. Oh my gosh!
Look at that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I've been looking at it for the last like couple of hours now.
Here you go.
Wow. Ooh. That's lobster right there.
That is lobster.
Yo, you're not even stingy with the these are big
No.
pieces. That smoked cheese.
It sets it off, right?
Yo, I want to say that's gonna be our secret, but we have it aired out. Everybody's gonna know about it. That's serious. I wasn't expecting that. Real talk. I was not. I wasn't even thinking like that.
That smoked cheese, I think, adds another level. Just using regular cheese is not going to do it. But having that smoked cheese in there. Now, if you want to use regular cheese, that's fine. I would go with a sharp cheese, though, like Asiago or sharp cheddar, extra sharp cheddar cheese.
I'm going with the smoked. That does bring another dynamic to this. All jokes aside, it does. It gives it a different taste. I've never had mac and cheese like this. I've never had mac and cheese with the smoked cheese, and that's another dynamic. Going to Stop and Shop. Yeah, that's right. I Stop and Shop, whatever. And I'm going to get that. So, let me get one more bite and I got some questions for you.
Okay.
Oh, I got a little crunchiness in there.
That you got the edge. I got you. I gave you a corner.
This is so damn good. All right, I got to ask questions. No, I'm not going to lie. I'm greedy like that, so I'm going to be eating while I'm asking questions.
That's fine.
So, one thing I want to thank you, seriously, for making this. I posted that I wanted to make. I said it before. I posted I wanted to make it. She saw it. It was like, I got you. So I really appreciate this. I'm looking to make this in a few days. I want it to be my signature dish. You helped me tremendously. And one thing about Chef Z, she's not cheap with these lobster pieces. I'm telling you though, you come to mine, I'm gonna be cheap with it. I'm slicing these jams up real small. So you're gonna taste lobster, but you ain't getting no big chunky pieces. Like you ain't getting no big pieces like that. So, but let me ask you. So, you said your grandfather inspired you.
Yeah.
Could we talk a little more about that? And we only talked about like a little bit. I know he was a chef himself. Can we kind of get into that a little bit?
Yeah. So my papa, even now to this day, even when I'm making mac and cheese, as I'm making this mac and cheese, because one of his signature dish was mac and cheese.
Okay.
I think about him, and like I said, when I was 16, that's when he passed.
Yeah.
So all the accolades and accomplishments that I've had since then, he hasn't been able to see. But he was. All right, so I'll give you a breakdown of our family.
Please do.
So we would have Sunday dinner.
Okay.
At least that's what I called it. But we would go to our grandparents' house on Sundays, or my mom and papa's house on Sundays every now and then for dinner. And the only people that were allowed to cook were the elders, you know,
Okay.
or my papa would cook all the food, and like aunts and uncles. But none of the kids were allowed to.
Okay.
Sixth grade. In sixth grade, our sixth grade project for the end of the year was to grow vegetables.
Okay.
I liked it, so I did it over the summertime. And after growing all these vegetables, you can only make so many salads.
Yeah.
So I said, what else can I do with them? So I chopped them up and I wound up making, I called it a carrot burger because the base ingredients was carrots, but it's basically a veggie burger. And I made a whole bunch of them, and he's the one that helped me to create that. I was like, I don't know what to do, and that's when he told me, you know, be creative, be yourself, and your food will come. I made the carrot burgers and they taste amazing, and he allowed me to bring them to dinner. And I was able to put my plate of my carrot burgers on the table with all his other food, and everybody ate it, and everyone loved it. But I was more so happy when he loved it, because he was the person, he was the chef, he was the one I wanted to impress.
Exactly. No, that's a beautiful story. Let me ask you another question. What's that one meal? And I'll ask this with all the chefs on the show. What's that one meal that to this day you struggle on? People say baking.
Oh my God.
But besides baking, let's
besides baking,
yeah,
what's the challenging?
Yeah.
Nothing. For real, nothing. I don't believe in any. I don't think anything is challenging.
Okay.
Because you can do everything that you want to do. Baking, however, is challenging. But since we're not talking about baking, I don't.
I mean,
now plate presentation.
Okay.
But that's more of a skill.
Yeah.
I do my best with plate presentation, but me, I'm just about the food. You know.
Yeah. I see that.
Yeah. I'm about the food and making it taste good.
But let me ask you. Is that the way you approach things in life? Just you lock in and you learn it and master it, or?
Yes.
Okay, so that's
if it's something that I'm going after and learn and want to learn and want to get better at, yes, I lock in and I learn it, and I may even, you know, change it up, switch it up, and master it, like you said.
Would you say your grandfather kind of learned a little bit from him, that motivation to learn and kind of lock in?
Well, honestly, I think that more so comes from my parents, from my father and my mother.
Okay.
You know, not that my papa wasn't like that, but with watching my dad cooking, how my dad cooked, and my dad we had our Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday meals, but then my dad would make something different. Okay. And when I saw how you know, focused he was when he was creating these dishes, I think that's where I get it from. I think I get that more so from my dad and from my mom.
Okay, let's make a left turn here. You being a woman in the food industry, let's talk about some of the pros and cons and definitely some of the challenges. Because I just opened the show up to women this year, and I've had a few women chefs on the show, different backgrounds and everything, and they talked about some of the challenges. Some of the things you don't see behind the scenes. Could you tell us? Let us know.
So we'll go with some of the cons, okay? Because I always like the bad news before the good news. When people say I have good news and bad news, I'm like, tell me the bad news.
I hear that.
So with some of the cons, you have to say things more. You have to say things more than a male chef would have to say. You have to reiterate yourself more to the team than a male chef would have to. Because it's just, to me, it's just they respect the male chefs more than they respect the female chefs.
Do you feel like when you come on, you have to instantly try to prove yourself?
Not at this point. And I think it's because practice. Now when I step into the kitchen, my whole demeanor changes. You know, outside the kitchen, I'm ha-ha, kiki, but as soon as I get in the kitchen, my facial expression changed. I'm not smiling. We're here to work. Yeah. Let's do this. I'm behind you. And I think, and honestly, I think and that's when I first started. Now when I go in the kitchen, with the knowledge that I have, I think people will respect your knowledge, you know, as well, and will respect your sternness, and for lack of a better word, sternness. You know, you have to be consistent but I believe that's with any job. But when you're in the kitchen, especially, you have to be consistent. If they see that you're not consistent, if they see that you're kind of wibbly-washy and you don't know what you're doing, they're going to play with you. You know, and they may do that with male chefs as well. I don't know. I'm a female, and I just know my experience with that. I remember I was working at this one restaurant. It was a chain restaurant, and I was KM2, and the kitchen manager. KM means kitchen manager. the KM was training me to take his place.
Gotcha.
And I was being trained. I had trained for a while. Plus, I had just knowledge under me. He left, and instead of me taking his place, they brought in another. Wasn't even a KM2. He was a supervisor at our sister store.
Okay.
Brought him in and made him the KM.
Just like that.
Just like that.
How did that make you feel? I mean,
I was pissed beyond.
Okay.
I was beyond pissed because I had worked hard to that position, but I look at the whole picture.
Okay.
One thing that I did succeed in with that company, I was the first black female manager.
Okay.
And they had been open years. They had 7 stores. They had been open for years, and I was the very first black female manager.
Wow. Okay.
And I became a manager in less than 2 years, and not even trying to become a manager, because I just believe wherever you work, just put your all into it.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, then leave and find another job.
Yeah.
So, but it was a lot of things like that they would let the other managers slide with.
Okay.
But I wasn't allowed to slide with.
Gotcha.
So like if on truck days, if we had to take the lids off the boxes, if they didn't take the lids off, if I was the night manager, I couldn't leave. You know,
I see.
So a lot of things I was treated very differently. But when I look in hindsight of how I was treated and where I'm at now, I'm actually grateful for it.
Okay.
Because with the experience, with all the poking that they did,
Yes.
I became a restaurant consultant, because now I'm seeing things that other people don't see.
Gotcha.
You know, now I'm looking at the smaller things that other people can't find. So I look at that as God was preparing me to do something greater and bigger, which He did.
Gotcha.
You know, and the people, and no shade to the people that I worked with as managers, but they're still managers.
Gotcha.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, no shade to them, but God had better and bigger plans for me.
What
so
doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
you got
It seemed
that
like
right.
It made you stronger to move on to the next level. Let's talk about what you're doing today, because I always use this term. You're a lot of moving parts. You are a lot of moving parts. It seems it's more than just cooking, and that's a beautiful thing. So let's talk about what you're doing today.
So last year I got my PhD. I earned my PhD in metaphysical science.
Okay.
So I'm Dr. Aziza Young, but my son calls me Dr. Chef.
Okay. Okay.
So I got my PhD in metaphysical science last year, and these last couple years I've been picking up shifts, doing substituting at different schools in the county that I live in, but also in Philadelphia County. I also wrote a program. I wrote a curriculum to help people. I taught my first 8-week work class this year.
Wow.
It's called the Alchemy Lab, and every week we would go into like the conscious and the subconscious mind, and how different things, how you respond to different things. So what I am a coach that helps you to transform the way that you think.
Wow.
And I use neuroscience, quantum physics, and metaphysical science to help incorporate all of that into my teachings.
Wow. That's really impressive. I mean, I came here, when I first saw you on social, I want to thank you even, you've been on TV before. So the fact I always say you're doing my little show.
But it's not a little show, it's a big show.
Well, I appreciate that, but there are so many different layers to you. You pull back one layer, oh, you do this, another layer, you do this, and I know I just met you, but I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. Listen, I just finished this whole thing. Listen, I love what you. I mean, it's your fault because it's so damn good. Like you didn't have to throw the smoked cheese in there.
But I did because you're going to remake this.
Yeah.
And I want your family to eat it just like how you're eating it. I'm happy you like it.
Yeah, it's really good. Listen, we're gonna try to get her back on the show, but she did an amazing job today. When she gonna cook for you, Chef Z, today, Philly, heart of Philly, Philly born, city of brotherly love, showed us what to do. My plate is on board. But like I said, and I'm telling you guys now, you're not getting this from me. You're getting bits, small bits. I'm telling you, real talk. I'm not doing, like you had chunks there.
I do. I like the chunks. I like the chunks.
Chunks ain't in the budget on the show. So you're getting pieces But all jokes aside, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate
having me.
and I'm looking to get you back on.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen,
for sure.
guys, we're gonna call it a night. You guys have a great night, and we're out of here, people. Bye bye.
Thank you.